If you guys are trying to take your training to the next level and you want to increase your speed, your power, your conditioning, then you got to check out Phil Daru's 8-week heavy hitter boxing program. I'm telling you guys right now, it's no joke.
You Russian Dante boxing Asian.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So Canelo Alvarez, their team just came out and said that they want to unify all of the belts at 168. Now, when I first heard this, I said, oh, this is great news, because the first thing I thought was like, man, you got David Benavidez as a champion. And then I said, wait a minute. David Benavidez, he got stripped. He's not the champion anymore. Guess who are the champions at 168? The WBO champion is Billy Joe Saunders. Caleb Smith is the WBA champion. Caleb Plant is the IBF champion. And Yildirim is the fighter that Canelo Alvarez requested to fight for the WBC vacant title once David Benavidez was stripped of the title. Guys, do you think it is a coincidence that Canelo Alvarez is now willing to unify all of the belts at 168, but he did not want to unify all of the belts at 160? I wonder why. And this is the reason why I call it the coincidental list. Look at the undefeated champions at 160 and look at the undefeated champions at 168. You got Jamal Charlo, you got Demetrius Andrade, and then you got Golovkin that Canelo Alvarez, he fought twice. Now, what makes this so ironic is Canelo Alvarez's own trainer, Reynoso, he came out and he called Jamal Charlo spectacular. Matter of fact, let me quote exactly what he said. Yes, Canelo versus Charlo is a good fight. Charlo has a lot of qualities. He's spectacular, tall for the division, strong, and he has good boxing skills. So the rhetorical question is, if Canelo Alvarez's own trainer believes that Jamal Charlo is spectacular, why would Canelo Alvarez vacate his belt when Charlo was his mandatory for like 2 years? And then move up to 168 and talk about unifying all of the belts. And trust me, if Reynoso believes that Jamal Charlo is spectacular, then he must believe that Demetrius Andrade is phenomenal. Because I think we all know that Demetrius Andrade is the most talented fighter at 160. By looking at what Canelo Alvarez is doing, it's clear as day. Canelo Alvarez is trying to avoid undefeated black fighters. That's what it is. Let's just call it for what it is. He's trying his best to avoid undefeated black fighters. Now, this doesn't mean that he will never fight them. I'm sure he will fight them eventually when he's forced to do so. But right now, because he's not being forced to do so, he has no intentions of fighting any dangerous undefeated black champions. This goes back to the NBF, no black fighters. But I guess in Canelo's situation, it's no Mexican fighters, because he also doesn't want to fight David Benavidez. So Canelo Alvarez is going to continue his career like this, where he's not going to fight any undefeated Mexican fighters. He's not going to fight any undefeated black champions. That means he's only going to fight white fighters? Is that what Canelo Alvarez is telling us? I guess his actions are speaking louder than words right now. Now, out of these fighters right here on the screen, clearly Caleb Plant is the best out of the bunch. And everyone besides Yildirim is better than Rocky Fielding. But once again, the big question is, why is he avoiding the quote-unquote spectacular fighters? These fighters that you're looking at on the screen right now, Reynoso has never called any of them spectacular. That tells you the whole story, guys. That tells you the whole story. When it came to fighters like Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., when it came to fighters like Angulo, Canelo had no problem fighting Mexican fighters. when it came to black fighters that have already lost, had already been knocked out, like James Kirkland, like Danny Jacobs. He had no problem fighting those guys. But it's the undefeated black champions that he has a problem with now. It's the undefeated Mexican champions that Canelo has a problem with right now. Even Gilberto Ramirez has been calling out Canelo Alvarez, and we haven't gotten any response from Canelo yet. The last two undefeated black fighters that Canelo Alvarez fought, he lost to one of them, which is Floyd Mayweather. And then it was the Lara fight, which many people think Lara won that fight. And unlike Floyd Mayweather giving rematches to Castillo and Maidana, Canelo Alvarez never gave Lara a rematch. Now, it would be different if Canelo Alvarez cleaned out the middleweight division by beating Charlo and Andrade, or if Canelo Alvarez was chasing these guys for years, if the roles were reversed. And he finally said, I give up. I'm moving on. And then he says, I want to unify at 168. That would be a good look for him. Then it wouldn't really matter, how good the opponents are, because we already know that Canelo has proven that he's looking for the best opponents, right? But the way he's doing things right now, it's the complete contrary. He's avoiding the spectacular fighters. I mean, we know that if Canelo Alvarez was in the era with Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns, Hagler, Duran, Canelo most likely wouldn't have fought any of those guys. At least not until they were past their prime and they had got beat up and knocked out a couple times. Then he would fight them all. That's been his pattern today. Almost all of Canelo Alvarez's biggest wins are against fighters that had previously been knocked out. From Danny Jacobs to Angulo, Chavez Jr., Amir Khan, Rocky Fielding, Sergey Kovalev, James Kirkland. And his biggest win ended in controversy, both of them against Gennady Golovkin. Now, he is going to fight some undefeated fighters now at 168, and the good news is the majority of them are all better than Rocky Fielding. But you can't call yourself the best if you only prefer to fight one race of fighters, unless those fighters we're talking about have beaten all of the spectacular fighters. Then therefore that makes you spectacular, and that person would become a spectacular opponent for Canelo Alvarez. I know you Canelo Alvarez fans, you're slapping your knee, you're rolling on the ground, you're crying your damn eyes out, but you're gonna keep getting the truth if you're gonna keep watching. I'm gonna keep telling you, man, don't go to the doctor's office if you're afraid the truth is something you might not want to hear, because regardless if it's good news or bad news, your doctor is always gonna tell you the truth. I'm on to the next one, y'all. What's going on, guys? I've always wanted to find a second source of income. And I've always wanted to learn about stocks and trades because I've heard so much good stuff about it. So I finally found a way to do it. And now I'm learning from 6, 7, 8-figure traders. So not only am I learning from them, but the most important thing is I get to copy their trade. So I get to earn while I learn. Now, if you want the full details, click on the link below, so you can learn while you copy and paste their trades. And just understand this, guys, just by watching the video, you're doing a great job of supporting my channel, and I appreciate it. And the craziest thing about doing this trading is you can do it anywhere. All you need is an internet connection, and you can do it just with your phone. So if you want to learn how to make a second income alongside me without having to pitch, sell, or recruit, go ahead and click on the link below, and I'll see you inside. I always say on this channel, pay-per-view fights should actually be free. And now the day has come where I'm about to hook you up with an app where you can watch all your pay-per-view events, boxing, UFC, etc. for free. I want to introduce Block TV, the best internet streaming television app out there. They provide over 3,600 channels, including HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, and Starz. They have a massive video on demand library with over 40,000 of the new release movies and the latest TV series. And it also includes DVR. So you're getting all of this for $34.99 a month. And once again, that includes free pay-per-view. So this one right here is a no-brainer, guys, because back in Las Vegas, I was paying damn near $200 a month for my cable. Those days are long gone now. So to get the app, make sure you guys go over to getblocktv.com and put in my promo code and get 30% off your first month. You also get a free month for every friend you refer. The promo code is DBNation. If you guys are trying to take your training to the next level and you want to increase your speed, your power, your conditioning, then you gotta check out Phil Daru's 8-week heavy hitter boxing program. I'm telling you guys right now, there's no joke.